Hey folks, welcome to the Mike Lopez TV Show. I'm your host, ACMike. We'll bring you all things Atlantic City and our local region. Politics, sports, dining, entertainment, and so much more. On tonight's show, we'll be joined by our guest, Dave Damiani, producer, vocalist, band leader of the No Vacancy Orchestra. Stick around. We'll be right back. Welcome back to the show. We're here with Dave Damiani, producer, vocalist, band leader of the No Vacancy Orchestra. Dave, welcome to the ACMike Show.
Hey, how you doing, Mike? Thanks for having me, my man.
That's great, man. Listen, we've done this a little bit here and there, whether it be the radio, about 4 years ago, maybe 5, the big ugly C word.
That's right.
COVID. We did you from the West Coast, Los Angeles, and here we are live. I'm so glad to have you here.
Well, it's nice to be here in the actual studio here at Stockton University where, I mean, wow, we got great people here working the cameras and a great little thing here, man. This is incredible. I came to Stockton. I went for 1 semester and I couldn't afford it. I had to switch to Camden County College.
You know what? I kind of get that now because a little tough time getting here to the studio.
A little tough time getting to the studio. It wasn't because of my grades, though.
Right. It's about as sharp as a bowling ball.
That's right.
So listen, no, all kidding aside, we've gotten to know each other through some of the shows you've done, Dante Hall, 500 Club, and we're going to get into that in a little bit, Dave. Listen, some of our viewers don't know maybe a lot about you. You've been in the area. Tell people a little bit the origin, you know, how it got started. You're a local guy.
Okay, a local guy, and I grew up in Cherry Hill, and then I went to school for a semester here at Stockton University. This is like a long time ago, and it was very expensive. I remember that. And I was paying for myself. It wasn't like today where like the parents like
kids.
Yeah, paying for myself. And then I realized after a semester I could get an education at community college, a lot cheaper, which wasn't. It was pretty expensive then too at the time.
Right.
So I went
Everything's expensive.
I know
for
everything's
an 18-year-old.
expensive. I know for an 18-year-old.
Right.
And then I went to Temple University where I studied radio, television, and film. Very much in a program like we have here, set up like this. And I moved out to Los Angeles, where I spent 27 years living in Los Angeles, working. I wanted to be in the film and television, and I took a lot of jobs, writer's assistant, PA, production assistant, working on movies. I mean, doing anything I could do to make a buck. And then finally I said, I really don't want to do this anymore. And I got a job as a singing waiter at a restaurant, and I could barely sing. And I started a whole new chapter of my life, and I became a musical producer and artist. And it's all because of this one guy that was like playing piano at this restaurant where I was working. And he just said, hey, if you want to follow your dreams, follow your dreams. And I did. And I can't believe it. It's like, I have a career in music as a result of going back to school and studying. And I actually went back to school as an adult. I got a 2nd degree in music.
That's amazing. And listen, the persistence to find something to be passionate about it and enjoying what you do. And you say 27 years you've been doing something. Listen, I spent 25 years working in the prison system, and I got to tell you, I enjoyed doing what I did, but I got through it. But that's the key to life. I really believe that. And we'll get into that in a little bit. Listen, as the leader of the No Vacancy Orchestra, I've seen you many times when we got to meet 2014 or 15. And, the way you arrange, work with the other guys, the performers, maestro. I say to maestro, don't it's not to pat you on the back and make your head bigger. None. You handle that, and I think that takes a special breed besides just an entertainer. Not to take anything away from that. Talk about that passion and how that's come and how you arrange.
Well, every job I've ever had in any business I've always wound up being some sort of manager or right-hand man to the owner, and I've always been somebody who was capable of running the show, right, whether the owner was there or not, and I took it real serious. And I took that into music, and I think I learned things like how to play some piano and how to arrange kind of basic stuff and do some stuff, and I came up with some concepts for ways to do songs differently. We call it bending the standard. That's what my thing is, bending the standard, taking a tune and putting my spin on it. And then I found guys like Dave Richards, an incredible arranger, Glenn Morissette, Tim McKay, Clint Blyle, and these guys write arrangements for me based on some concepts, and that has gotten me so much work across the country. performing with people like Sal the Voice Valentinetti from America's Got Talent. We've done a show with George Benson in Los Angeles for the Sinatra 100. I've worked with, we did a show with Steve Tyrell, Bobby Caldwell, Renee Olstead, Haley Reinhart, Landau Murphy Jr., winner of America's Got Talent. You know, I'll be this year doing a couple shows with Benny Benack, the #1 jazz entertainer in the country, who's going to be in Summers Point on April 19th. It's unrelated, but these are my friends, and I've built a network of people and produced a bunch of music that's available on every single platform you can imagine. And I've actually made a living doing this, and I'm blessed.
It's crazy. Pinch yourself sometimes. I'm being serious.
No, I'm serious. It doesn't really make sense.
Because it's a unique way to make a living. There's not many people who've done it and do it the way you do it, because what you've created for yourself. I go when you talk like this, I go to some of my friends that are boxers, and here I'm going to put it together. So not only are they boxers, but they figure they're not going to box forever, but they've also become promoters. You know, LaManna, Garcia, and some of the others. So what you've done, you perform. But you're also putting this together, and then some of the folks, and that's what I wanted to bring you. You know, you named Sal and Joe and some of the others. And listen, I want to thank you for being able to be an MC at a couple of these shows, traveling with you guys in Washington or Virginia, working with those folks. And when they come in from all over the country, or maybe even the world. Renee, when you're talking about Haley, to work with that, because not a lot of entertainers. I don't know this. You know this better than I. When you have your own show, you're sharing the stage with these people, and there's a lot of ego. You know, it doesn't mean it's bad or good, it's confidence, but you're willing to share that. That's unique in itself as well.
I've been told from other musicians, they've said, you know, you're like the Johnny Carson of jazz, and I said I really appreciate that, because I really want to put on the best show. Like even when I played baseball, I didn't mind being the #2 hitter, which we'll get into baseball too, because there's no more bunting anymore. There's no more moving the runner from first to second. Right. There's no more small ball. But I play music small ball. I'm not one of these guys that's going to go out there and sing and like Bocelli and make you cry. And I mean, I sing in tune. Right. I swing. I got a good way of acting out of tune, but I wasn't blessed with a voice like Luther Vandross. Right. But I have my own style, and I've used that to my benefit, and I use my strengths, and where my weaknesses are, I bring people in, and I'm not afraid to bring in a Landau Murphy Jr. or Haley Reinhart or someone, Renee Olstead, or somebody who's a mega superstar that, you know, can just sing and make you cry, you know?
Right. No, absolutely. So, and that's the beauty of it, and it gives the audience, so that's where I want to go with that. I ask everyone this, whether it's a chef, a ball player, a musician, an artist. When you're working, doing your thing, you interact with the audience very well. What is it like to feel that, you know, whether it's 100 people, 10,000, 5,000, just to see people swinging, having a good time, clipping their fingers, whatever it is. What does that do for you as a performer?
Well, when you're firing on all cylinders and that you start to notice that you have the crowd engaged. Right. There's a high that you get. I don't know if you compared it to surfing, if you've ever gotten the feeling when you stand up on the surfboard and you're actually riding the wave. That's how it feels. It's like when you hit a home run.
Jacking one, or
you hit a home run, or like when you hit a golf ball and you smack it right in the middle and you don't even feel the ball go. That's how it feels. But the cool thing about what I do is I use a real orchestra, and there's no tracks. Right. There's no backing tracks. I mean, a lot of these performances today, especially in some of the casinos, there's a couple of people, because the cost is high, that'll do a show and it's like 1 or 2 people singing with tracks, or one guy singing with I want to say like a karaoke machine, but it's basically, I won't do that. I'm always hiring musicians. I'm always hiring young musicians. It's always live music. And it's a oneness of all of us performing together, like an improv troupe or something, like live theater. So that's how I really admire that about if there's anything I admire, about myself, it's that I keep all these musicians working.
And that's the beauty of it, because when you bring those young men and women in from Temple or wherever it may be, and you do the same on the West Coast, and I'm sure when you're in Vegas as well, when these university students or graduates, they come in, that's a beautiful thing to see, because it's a very eclectic and different group. Ethnicity, you know, smooth, young guys, bending the standards with the skinny ties, doing their thing.
And there's a pedagogy to this music. Like, right. You know, that's a word.
Big word.
Well, it's a word that's not used enough, because it doesn't really exist anymore. Pedagogy. you, where the father passes it down to the son, or the uncle passes it down, the way to act, the way to show up, the way to dress, the way to act appropriately on a gig, the way to be. And that's how I was taught by some guys that were in their 70s and 80s. And now I'm 50. I'm becoming one of, I know, don't tell any, can we cut that out? I'm just kidding, I'm kidding. But I still have a good time. I still have a good time with it. And now these younger guys are coming up to me and they're asking me for advice, and it's like, wow, that really makes me say, wow, people are asking me now when I was asking those same questions 20 years ago.
So it's a two-parter. Tell us one of your most memorable performances with an artist, and then someone that you said, and maybe not in all or whatnot, it's like, what the hell am I doing up here with this guy or gal? That sort of, and you've touched on some of the names.
I think the thing that we did in October of 2015 in Los Angeles, I got the opportunity to lead the band for the Sinatra 100 at the Grove, and we had Jane Monheit, Landau Murphy Jr., Renee Olstead, Johnny Mandel, who I got to go to his house and hold his Oscar for The Shadow of Your Smile from the Sandpiper, and his Grammy for Song of the Year, and George Benson, I found out from a friend of a friend, Benny Marcella, who was friends with this guy, Charles Wallert, who was a producer, got me in touch with George Benson, and I called him up on the phone, and I literally had a conversation with him. We talked about the song, and there's a picture, here it is right here. I'll show you, this is it right here, but this is October 15th, 2015. It's me, George Benson, the No Vacancy Orchestra. We're doing a sound check. I handed George his guitar, and then he looks over to the guys, and we didn't even practice the song, and he starts going, doon, 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 and he starts playing on Broadway. And there was like 10 or 15 people in this, because it was an outdoor arena, they were kind of paying attention. It was at a shopping mall, and it was roped off, but there was like 10 or 15 people that were kind of peeking in. And he plays the whole On Broadway, and he's like, say the neon lights on. And by the time we're about 90 seconds in, must be 2,000 people going, that's George Benson here. And I'm standing there next to him like this going, what am I doing here?
Right,
so that's my what am I doing here moment.
Love it.
And then I think that it was a night where I got to host the Friars Club. Here's another picture. This is me, Landau Murphy Jr., Joe Piscopo, and Tracy Morgan. Tracy Morgan received the Icon Award. This is in 2023.
Yeah. I missed that one.
Oh, you missed that one. Normally you're at these things.
Right.
But I was the musical director for the Friars Club till they closed, and for the last couple years in New York City, the historic Friars Club, Jerry Lewis, I mean, you name it, Billy Crystal, everybody has been there. I mean, it just was a haven for Sinatra had his 50th birthday in this room. And Tracy Morgan was given the Icon Award, and at the end, me, Piscopo, Landau, Sal the Voice, and Tracy Morgan were singing New York, New York for all these people. I mean, J.B. Smoove was in the audience, and Chris Kattan from Saturday Night Live, and Rudy Giuliani, the current mayor, and Blasio were all in the same room.
It's a great room.
Paul Schaefer from Saturday Night Live. I was like, wow. That was like, so what am I doing here? And here I am, I was, and then CeeLo Green sang with the band. CeeLo closed out the show, and it was like my band, my arrangements that he used, and it was like, here's CeeLo Green singing,
Strong.
I mean, it was out of this world, man.
That's amazing. Listen, hold that right there. Pump the brakes. Hold off. Hey, folks, stay tuned. Stay right where you're at. We'll be right back with Mr. Dave Damiani of the No Vacancy Orchestra.
Welcome to the Atlantic City Boardwalk. I'm Mayor Don Guardian, and if you stroll along our boardwalk, you'll see that we're rebuilding our city. From South Jersey Gas's corporate office to Stockton University's new campus, from the Hard Rock Casino Hotel to the reopening of the Showboat, to the beautiful observation wheel here at Steel Pier, to the rebuilding of our boardwalk for the first time since 1944. It's all about rebuilding our city, and I'm so pleased to introduce our new anthem by Dave Damiani and the No Vacancy Orchestra. It's Pure AC.
Hey, folks, welcome back to the show. We're here with Dave Damiani, maestro, producer, vocalist, band leader of the No Vacancy Orchestra. Listen, you just heard a little piece from my man, our man, Don Guardian, former mayor of Atlantic City, the great city of Atlantic City. Dave, It's pure AC, the anthem of the city. I remember riding around, I don't know, 14, 15, sometime around there. We're out at night, a little bit hammered, talking, whatever. and Dave mentions to me, Mike, man, I want to write a song about Atlantic City. And we were just probably friends for about a year or so, but we must have hit about 6 bars, 7 bars, everywhere, up and down, and Atlantic City being a 24/7 town. And I said, Dave, you write songs, write a song. What do I write about? I said, come on, what do we just do? So whether you remember that night or not, about 3 weeks later, you send me this, I don't know what the hell it was. It's
MP3.
MP3. And I listened, I was like, you gotta be kidding me. Talk to us about that. And Don, when he heard it, it just blew his mind.
Well, we were down here, I was down here, I don't know, 14, 15, 16, and we were doing these shows at Dante Hall.
Right.
I had done them through Stockton, as actually was part of the sponsorship, with Stephanie Kleiman and Ducktown, and we were doing, the month, and I really fell in love with the city of Atlantic City. I'm wearing my Atlantic City shirt, given to me by Doug McIntyre, who was a former radio host in Los Angeles, who knows I love Atlantic City, and I just said, I really want to write a song about Atlantic City. And me, Alex Frank, my buddy at the time, we were, he was coming with me for like a month. We were staying here for a month.
Yeah.
So we just came up with an idea, and we started coming up with concepts, and there was a little melody. And then I'll just sing a little bit of it. One of them was either Doc's or Irish pub. Head to White House for a sub. Tony's got the late night grub. Past 3. Sneak into a lifeguard stand. Watch the sunrise from the sand. We'll hold each other's hand in AC. And then we got into the whole 500 Club thing and in the song, and I played it for Don, and Don said, I'm going to give you a proclamation. This was 2017. It's going to be the official anthem of Atlantic City, and it is. And because of you, I got to host Miss New Jersey a couple years, and I got to, sing at resorts and headline at Ocean and do a lot of really cool things here. And it's kind of become the anthem of Atlantic. It is the anthem of Atlantic City, but it's WOND uses it, and
I use it.
You use it, and and I, maybe some air conditioning company down here will use it. But no, I mean it's awesome. It's awesome. I'm proud of it. It's one of my accomplishments.
No, I love it. Listen, and I'm going to mention the name Vicky Gold-Levy, and when I introduced her to you, she loved it, and that song is now playing at the Atlantic City Experience daily at Jim Whalen Boardwalk Hall and throughout. I mean, your music can be found everywhere. Tell some of the folks where they can find your music.
Well, they can find it, on Apple Music.
Right.
You type in Dave Damiani or Dave Damiani, the No Vacancy Orchestra.
If you can spell it.
If you can spell it. I know. I should really shorten my name. But then you have Spotify. I'm on YouTube and at DaveDamiani.com, which is the new album Heart to Heart, and it's like all songs from like the 70s and 80s. We're doing like Kenny Loggins and Paul Simon tunes and George Benson, and it's just a really cool album. I'm proud of it, and we're shooting for the Grammy nominations coming up in 2026, and we'll see what happens. We got some really exciting people behind this record, so.
I love it. Listen, and just to stay here for a little bit here in AC as we were, Dante Theater, I'm sorry, just a phenomenal place for a show. Superstars Theater and Resorts, a great classic. Ovation Hall. I mean, you mentioned some of the places that we've played, got to know Bruce Dyfick. I remember another little story too. I'm riding bike, Ocean Casino's not open yet. It's like 2017. And I'm like, Dave, whoever owns Ocean Casino, all as they play is Sinatra music. I don't know if you remember.
Well, I got his name and number, and we met with him.
And we met with him.
Before,
Sat down,
like the
had
day they were
breakfast.
open. I remember it was like July 4th weekend.
And what a blast that was to be on Ocean Casino, or at Ocean Casino, that theater, phenomenal.
And we got to meet Bobby Rydell, and I got to record with Bobby Rydell.
Yeah, you brought me.
I recorded with Bobby Rydell too. With we did Sway, and we did You Gotta Enjoy Joy, which was the theme from the Milton Berle show.
That would be phenomenal. I mean, you're talking about a iconic figure for many, many years with his music, Bobby Rydell, and what he did, and for this area as well, not only worldwide, phenomenal. Listen, here we go. One of the places you got to play, and then we're going to talk about some of the shows you got coming up this summer and later this spring. Another show that you got to do. Maybe it wasn't a packed house, but it's hard to pack that house. Jim Whalen Boardwalk Hall. To go up there and perform there, and
crazy.
with Gary Hill, John Schultz,
that
NBC
was awesome.
event,
Schultz Hill.
a couple thousand people. That's a theater that has had them all, from Beyonce to Beatles. Go ahead.
I mean,
Rolling Stones.
Atlantic City has been really good to me. I mean, I really have nothing but amazing things to say about it. I love it here. I'm here pretty much, not full-time, but I'd say 9 months out of the year I'm here now because my daughter's at college in St. Joe's, and I want to be close. It's her freshman year, so I'm trying to kind of, I got to go shoot to LA, I got to shoot to Vegas, I'm going to Florida here and there, I got to go Wisconsin, Spokane, Washington, I was just there. But I mean, I have to work, right. But when I have some downtime, I'm here, and there's nothing better than the summer. And actually, we're going to put together some nice concerts together, you and me, for the shoulder season, right, in October. So.
Yeah, and let's bump into that. Let's go real quick. I want to say a few months ago, Philly, or near and dear to us, right over the bridge, Chris's Jazz Cafe. You got a show coming up there, but that experience, what a great venue that is as well.
Sold out room, small little jazz club. Yeah. Right off of Sampson Street, a couple blocks in from Broad Street. And Chris's Jazz Cafe, we're going to be there on April 29th.
Tell them.
April 29th, which is a Tuesday. Yeah. I'm going to be there with the No Vacancy Orchestra. I always have a surprise guest or two. Right. I'm not going to tell you who it's going to be, but it's always somebody that you're like, I can't believe I saw them here.
Right, exactly.
So, but it's a nice night out. It's a great place for dinner. I think we got a 7 o'clock start time. Come and have dinner. Chris's Jazz Cafe. It's going to be an awesome night. I'm going to have a big band in a little room. It's like, it's like Chris Farley, big man in a little jacket. Yeah. It's a big man in a little room.
No, nothing like it. Great space. When I say space, just a neighborhood. That the whole place.
Everybody's played there, man. Yep. Christian McBride, Benny Benack. I mean, all the greats have played there.
Love it. Now we're bringing it back home. For a person I get to work with each and every summer, and it's an honor to work with him, and especially the legacy. Tony March presents Carmen Murata. We've been working together. I finally got you to sit down with me at a CRDA meeting and keep your behind in the seat for about a half an hour and just see how this thing works and what they do and bring this great entertainment and guys like Carmen and his team, the Chicken Bone Beach Foundation as well. They do some shows there. We got some stuff laid down for there, and we'll get into down the street in Summers Point in a little bit, but talk about Kennedy Plaza.
Well, what the CRDA does for the city of Atlantic City is incredible. They keep so much stuff going on throughout the year, and I don't know if people realize it, but they keep art and entertainment going, and they help little businesses, and there's little loans that they offer people that are trying to get something going in Atlantic City. Right. So first off, the CRDA is the tops. And I had no idea until you took me to the meeting how much goes into the thought process of this. But I was invited this year to do a show at Kennedy Plaza. Carmen Murata, who his father owned Tony Mart, which was the place from Eddie and the Cruisers and so much history. Yeah. George Benson, Bob Dylan got his band in Summers Point. Right. And we're going to be doing it August 13th, which is the day before my birthday. It's a Wednesday night. It's going to be in right there at Kennedy Plaza. It's a free show. Right. And we're going to be on the boardwalk with my orchestra. I'm going to have some guest people coming in from out of town. It's going to be off the charts. And I'm excited to do a show with him. And I'm also going to be at the Gateway Theater in Summers Point on the 30th, which is the Saturday of Labor Day weekend. And we're going to say farewell to the summer that hasn't even started yet. Right. But I'm letting you know, and people make plans, right? Yeah. And mark your calendar. Mark your calendars. We're going to do a show on the 30th of August at the Gateway, and then in between, I'm going to be in Italy, I'm going to be in Vegas, I'm going to be in California, I'm going to be in Palm Springs, San Diego, Florida. I got a million gazillion things. New York City. I got a bunch of stuff. I'm going to be May 30th in New York City with Sal the Voice Valentinetti, Joe Matarese from America's Got Talent, Benny Benack, and Sinatra Selects.
What a great name,
it's great. Benny Benack. I know. He's my man. He's my man.
So here we go. We got a few minutes left here. And when you speak about Sal the Voice Valentinetti, got to meet him through you. Great guy. Hang out with him a little bit. We had a couple dinners at Gita Soul. Sunflower, that is, if you don't know, right? Yeah, but again, to work with a guy like that, and I know you've worked not just with him on stage, you've took it a little deeper.
Well, that night when we had dinner at Girasol was during COVID. I don't know if you remember this, but Sal was kind of down in the dumps because he just was on America's Got Talent, nearly won, had all these shows, millions of dollars of shows in the books to play across the country. COVID hit, it all stopped. I had met him right before this. He goes, man, I don't know what to do. And I says, let's make a record. He goes, where are you? I says, I'm in Atlantic City. He goes, well, I'm driving down. And this was like 2 in the afternoon. 3 hours later, Sal Valentinetti's at my doorstep. We wrote down about 10 or 11 tunes. I have the piece of paper. I called you up. We went to dinner that night at Girasol, you, me, and Sal. And then literally 2 months later, we had finished the album called Little Valentine that I produced for Sal, the voice Valentinetti, and it's crushed. It's been great. It's been great for him. It's been great for me. It was a huge success, and kind of, I mean, you know, gave me his confidence, and we finished this thing together. And Sal is really, honestly, not just an amazing artist and entertainer. He's a great friend, and I love him to death.
Yeah, he's a Goomba. Listen, he caught my attention because I wasn't, not that I watched every episode, but I would catch maybe once or twice. But I caught the episode where the guy's like calling out Heidi Klum, and he winds up, and he just stood out.
Yeah.
Not only could he sing, but what he did was just that character. That's what I'm talking
said,
about.
Hey, Heidi Klum, how you doing?
Right.
And she goes, how you doing?
Right.
And then we did a show in L.A. together.
Yeah.
Because he didn't really have much going on in L.A. I said, come on out, stay at my house. And we went and we did a show at this little jazz club, 200 people, Herb Alpert's Vibrato, which I'm there April 15th, which is tonight. So figure that out, people.
Right, yeah.
But she was at the show, and she took pictures with us, and what a sweet lady, and what an amazing, really, she is that beautiful. Wow.
Fantastic show, fantastic person. Listen, April 29th, Chris's Jazz Cafe, Philly. August 13th, Kennedy Plaza. August 20th, Summers Point.
August 30th.
30th, I'm sorry. Summers Point. Dave, we got about 50 seconds left, not 30. To you. Finish it off, and you got to add AC in there, not just because it's on your chest, because that's what we're about.
Well, make your trip down to Atlantic City this summer, ladies and gentlemen. Do me a favor, call all the entertainment directors at all the casinos and say, we want the Damiani show. We want to hear a big band. Because I'll bring out Peter Erskine, I'll bring out Bijan Watson, I'll bring out some of these amazing entertainers that we used to have out here, because it hasn't fully come back yet from COVID.
Right.
They're still making up deals with people that they had to bring back, and I totally understand. But you know what? Atlantic City's been a place where they've bred amazing superstars, and the 500 Club was a place where people got to polish their act, and let's do that now this summer.
Dave, want to thank you for jumping on here. Listen, we appreciate you coming out each and every time. Mi casa, tu casa. Thanks again, bro. But before you go and do something, you got to sign that for our folks here at Stockton University.
I got you. Thank you, Stockton University. Thank you.
Thanks again to Dave Damiani, producer, vocalist, maestro, band leader for the No Vacancy Orchestra, for being on our show today. Folks, stay right where you're at. I'll be right back. Hey, folks, it's our belief here at the Mike Lopez TV Show that you, the viewers and our guests, bring the show to life. Thanks to each and every one of you for joining us. To learn more about ACMike, go to acmikeng.com, Facebook, ACMike, Mike Lopez, and LiveWorkPlayAC. And you can also find me on Instagram at ACMikeNJ. If you enjoyed watching today's show, you can also listen on the radio at 1400, 92.3, and online at WONDradio.com on the World Wide Web, Monday through Friday, noon till 1 p.m. And remember to always live, work, play AC, and I'll see you on the 48.